What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. This video is going to be a favorites video and also a demonstration video. I'm going to be showing you guys my top 12 brushes from one of my favorite brush brands, BK Beauty. If you haven't heard of this brand before, they are a luxury synthetic brush brand. So they only use synthetic bristles, but their brushes are so soft, so luxurious, very substantial, very hard wearing. And while I like all their brushes and I own all of their brushes, there are some that I reach for more than others. There are some that I think are a little bit more versatile than others, because I know a lot of you guys, you get overwhelmed shopping for brushes and you want to know which ones are the best, which are the ones that maybe you want to focus on a little bit more. So that's what this video is going to be about. And at the time of me posting this video, BK Beauty is having a Mother's Day sale. So they're going to be doing 20% off site-wide, no exclusions, and they're going to be restocking a lot of their most popular brushes and brush sets. So now is the time to check out a lot of their stuff. Many of you know, if you watch my channel, my mother loves BK Beauty. She's in her 60s. She absolutely loves it. It has totally changed her makeup game. So that's another reason why I wanted to share some favorites today. It is something that me and my mom both enjoy together and bond over. And if you are watching this video after the sale is over, don't worry. I do have a coupon code that is good all year round. So I will put that down below so you can save a little bit of money no matter what time it is. So let's get into my top 12 favorites from BK Beauty. Okay, party people, let's dive in. I'm going to be showing you each of my favorite brushes as I apply them to my face. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and consider shopping through my affiliate links if you want to support my channel. Everything that I use here, all the makeup, all the brushes, it's going to be linked down in the description box down below. And also consider subscribing to my channel if you are new here. Welcome, my name is Sophia. I am a complete beauty addict and I upload videos every single week. So let's dive in. Favorite BK Beauty brush number one, the 101 Contoured Foundation Brush. What can this brush not do? It's great for foundation. It is great for any kind of cream product, cream bronzer, cream blush, cream contour. Today we're going to be using it for foundation and also contour, so I can show you guys how it can work for different products, both liquid and then also kind of like a denser cream. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation, which is a very, very liquidy foundation. And the shape of this brush makes it so nice to just kind of pat it onto the face. These brushes are incredibly soft. They feel like teddy bear hair, but because they are synthetic, it makes it very easy to clean, especially when it comes to these kinds of liquid and cream products. I don't tend to use my natural hair Fude brushes for that purpose. This really has become my go-to brush for any kind of cream products. A lot of people call this the bunny foot brush because of the shape, because of what I just mentioned. It really is just kind of like a little gentle paw on your face. And I think what's great about this as well for foundation is that it splays out so that it doesn't make the foundation go on streaky. A lot of times you get those foundation brushes that are very small. They look a little bit more like a paintbrush. I don't care for those quite as much, especially with a very liquidy foundation. I think it's great if you're a makeup artist and you want to get a little bit more control. But if you are just an everyday makeup lover, I think it's great to have something in this specific shape, because it means that you don't get any streaks even if you have the most liquidy foundation. So this is definitely my favorite. We're going to bounce back to this when we go in with the contour in just a second. My next favorite BK Beauty brush, and quite honestly, my favorite concealer brush ever, is the 109. This is the baby sister of the 101. Let me show you guys right here. They are essentially the exact same shape, except the 101 is bigger. It's more so, you know, an all-around face brush, cheek brush, foundation brush, and then the 109 is just a smaller version. It's not going to splay out as much as the 101 because it has shorter bristles, but this still is a fantastic shape for concealer. It's gonna give you a little bit more control in those smaller areas. Let me show you. So I've applied some Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer to my under eyes, and I'm gonna go in with the 109 and see how, similar to the 101, it's just the perfect shape where you can get the job done quick, but you also have some control to get into those nooks and crannies. This is my preferred concealer brush. This is the one that I use day to day. This is my favorite type of shape. And because these bristles are so soft, it's gentle on your skin. My mom uses this brush all the time. In fact, you guys know she loves her BK Beauty brushes, and she is currently 62 and I am 32. We both use these brushes, and she loves how soft they feel on her mature skin. And I have kind of delicate skin as well, so I very much appreciate how soft and gentle these are to the eye. If you wanted to get around the nose, it's super easy to do that with this brush. It's the perfect size, it's super soft, it's the perfect density. I absolutely love it. I think I have 2 or 3 of these as well, and once again, a lot easier to clean because the bristles are synthetic. Now, while I like the 109 for concealer, and that is my preferred brush for every day, sometimes I want a little bit more precision. Sometimes I want to do some touch-ups or some cleanups, and in those cases, I like to go in with the A506. This is a part of the Angie Hot and Flashy set. It's a really good set. Highly recommend if you're looking for just a brush set. Give that one a look. My mom has that one. She absolutely loves it. And that set was designed for women with more mature skin. Anybody can use it, but if you have mature skin, a lot of the brushes in that set are kind of specifically designed for you. And what I like about this brush is that just like the 101 and the 109, it has that little paw print shape. So it's really good for applying concealer, but it does it in a more precise way. If you are doing that sort of less is more type of mentality, then this concealer brush might be a little bit better because it just lets you get right into those nooks and crannies. If you're doing little touch-ups around the nose, you just want to put a little bit of concealer in one spot, then this is going to be a fantastic brush. If you have fine lines and wrinkles in certain areas, you want to be careful not to get a lot of product on those spots because that's when the product is going to settle into those lines. And so I think that this brush, it's particularly good to get the product just in the areas where you need it. For me, it's the under eyes right here where it's darkest in the tear duct region. So I really like this brush for very soft, precision cover-up type of work. And then also it is great as a general concealer brush as well. I'm just a little bit lazier, so I like to go in with this one first because it's quicker, but this one is also fantastic. I've been doing quite a few bronzer reviews lately, and so a lot of you have probably seen me use the 105, the large buffer. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this one, but this is so good. I think that this is my favorite large brush from BK Beauty. And I think part of it is that I don't have any other bronzer brushes or powder brushes, whatever you want to call this, in this specific shape. It's super dense. It's super jumbo. It literally lets you get the job done so quickly. And if you have any products that are a little bit difficult to pick up, this baby will pick it up because look how many bristles it has. Look how dense it is. Anything you have, baked products, it's going to pick it up. And even with finely milled products, or if I'm applying sort of a finely milled product on top of a very dewy foundation, this does a really good job in not making it look patchy. It's so big that it kind of lays everything on in one fell swoop, and then you can sort of work it into the skin, and for whatever reason it doesn't disturb the foundation. I'm going with my Chantecaille bronzer. I'm just tapping this all over. It fits perfectly in the pan, and then I just gently tap it onto the face, and it is so quick. You can buff it into the face as well, but honestly, it's so big, all you have to do is gently tap, go over the nose, and that's it. It is so quick. I know that there's a lot of other bronzer and powder brushes in the BK Beauty lineup, and those are really good as well, but this is the one that is the most unique to me out of all of them that I don't have from any other brand, and that does the best job of laying down the product without disturbing my base underneath. Now I want to show you my favorite finishing brush from BK Beauty. This is the number 113. This is the small flat powder brush, and I like this because it's small, it's precise. I like the flat shape because I think it makes it really easy to lay down, powder products, blend things together, and it's super wispy. Hopefully you guys can tell. See how it gets narrower towards the top? That makes it easy to really seamlessly blend everything into the face. So what I like to do is I like to take my little hourglass finishing powders, and I'll kind of just dust around the perimeter of all the products that I just went in with. Anywhere where I feel like I need to kind of either blend things together or set them down, and see how it just fits perfectly into all the little crevices of the face. The other nice thing about this brush is that it is substantial enough to handle these sorts of tasks. And let me explain what I mean about that. I have other brushes in my collection that have this soft, wispy, airbrush type of feel, but they're usually natural hair brushes that are made of something like squirrel hair, for example. I like to use those for highlight, for kind of finishing things up at the end of a look. If you take those brushes and you go back and forth in between a powder product and the cream products that you have on your face for sort of setting your makeup, you're gonna ruin those brushes. They're gonna get gunky, they're gonna get dirty, they're harder to clean. So I like the fact that this brush, it has that wispy, soft, airy feel that you might get from one of those natural hair brushes, except it's a lot more substantial for doing these types of setting and finishing tasks. My next brush favorite is the 111. This is the dense bronzer brush, and I actually don't like to use this for bronzer. You totally can. It's a great brush for those purposes, but this is a little bit small for me. I like a bronzer brush that is a little bit bigger. Otherwise, I feel like I get too much of a splotch right on the cheek where I go in with it. This is pretty dense. It's gonna deposit a lot of pigment. So I actually like to use this for blush. I've been going into my Esom Artistry palette. I'm just using the purple shade right there. This is gonna pick up any kind of pigment. You have anything that's hard to pick up, this will pick it up, just like the buffer brush that I showed you. This has a lot of densely packed bristles, and so it does a great job of really laying down the color. You can build it up, and then you also, just like the buffer, you can buff it out because it is quite dense. It's just the perfect size to be able to brush things along the cheekbones, maybe the temples up here, if that's kind of how you like to apply your blush. You can apply it to the ears. It's just a very versatile brush, and I really like the shape and how densely packed it is. Remember how I told you that the 113 was really great for setting your makeup and doing touch-ups? Well, I also think it's really great for highlighter as well. You're seeing a trend here, right? A lot of these brushes are very multi-purpose, and I reach for them for a lot of different tasks when doing my makeup. So that's why I'm recommending them to you guys today, because I know a lot of you, you're only gonna pick up one brush, maybe a handful, and you wanna know which ones are gonna be the best. Now, because this is super wispy, it has a really pretty nice light touch when it comes to highlighter. I'm going in with my Chantecaille highlight right here, and it's just the perfect size for brushing it across the cheekbones. There's some other good highlight brushes in the BK Beauty lineup, but I bring this one up specifically because I think it's good for all of those different purposes. That concludes the face brush recommendations for this video. I did do my brows off camera, and that is because we are going to get into the eye brushes. And the first recommendation that I have is the 212. This is called the Medium Blender. I actually don't really use this as a blending brush. More on that a little bit later. I like to use this as my perfect crease brush, and I like this one compared to some of the other ones in the lineup, which are also good, but I reach for this one more because this one has the perfect round domed shape, and it's not too densely packed, it's not too pointy. I don't really like to start off my makeup look with pointy crease brushes. I like to get a nice smooth base. So I'm gonna go in with just one of the mattes from the Byredo Remembrance palette, and this is just the perfect shape to get a really nice, even, non-patchy type of blend on the eye. This is, once again, this is the one that I reach for the most. All the crease brushes are good, and it does depend on your eye shape, but I feel like this one, it's kind of that perfect medium size where I do think it's going to work for the most people. What I also love from BK Beauty are their precision brushes. They're still really soft on the eye, but I think that synthetic bristles do a really good job of picking up those more high shine, kind of creamy, metallic types of shadows and laying them across the eye in a very precise and pigmented way. So the next two I'm gonna show you together because they're very similar and I want you to see the differences between them. These are two teeny little shader brushes. At least they're pretty small for my eye shape. Here you have the 203, which is the larger of the two, and then you have the 209, which is the smaller of the two. The 203, it's still small enough that you can be precise with it, but I also kind of like that it has a little bit of wispiness at the top. So if you want to lay something down and then blend it in, you have that option. And then the 209, I mean, this is just the perfect little precise shader brush. Not only can you use it across the lid if you want to kind of pop something in the center of the eye, but it's also small enough that you can use it for inner corner and lower lash line. So let's dive in with these. I'm going to go in with my Esom Artistry palette and the 203. I'm going to show you guys how you can really lay that shadow across the lid. These shadows are very pigmented. They have a very nice silky feel to them. And because this is pretty dense, it allows me to get a little bit more of a pigmented finish there. And then going in with the 209, I'm gonna use this underneath the eye. It's just so small and precise, but it doesn't scratch my eyes or anything. I'm also going to go into this brighter white shades that you guys can see how nicely that works, just to kind of brighten up the center of the eye. Ooh, that's so pretty. And then also here in the inner corner. Next up, we have the 206. This is called the Blending Shader. Another very versatile, very multi-purpose brush. And this is probably also the brush that is the closest one that I can find to a discontinued one that I used to get from Sephora. They still have the brush, but they changed it. And this one is the closest that I can get. I love this brush. It's good for a couple of different things. It is called the Blending Shader. So it's a shader brush. You can use this instead of the ones that I just used if you want something that's less pigmented. If you want to do just kind of maybe like a one and done with a satin shadow and you want something that is very light and easy, you can take this and easily sweep it all over the lid. But you can use it for a couple other things as well. Number one, you can use it for blending. You can kind of just go around your entire look to get a really seamless and blended airbrush type of look. I do this pretty much every single day. After I do my eyeshadow, I go around the perimeter, maybe with a little loose powder or pressed powder, just to get everything looking super seamless. You can also use this for applying very soft depth to the outer corner of the eye, or really anywhere on the eye. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of shadow, just mix two colors from the Byredo and the Esom palettes, and see how this fits really nicely in that outer crease. So you can add some depth, but it's very subtle. We're not going for a super smoky look. Maybe you're just going for something that is very everyday. See how I'm kind of slowly building that up, but it's not crazy. It's really just such a very functional brush if you want like an airy, softer, everyday type of look. We're not really packing on the product like we were with those two shader brushes, which are much more dense, so they're better at kind of building up that pigment. This is the opposite of that. Next up, we have the A502. This is also from the Angie Hot and Flashy set, and it is such a great little detail brush. It's basically kind of like a scaled down version of the crease brush that I was showing you guys earlier. I like to use this once again for a couple of different things. If I want to do more precise blending, for example, I'm taking a little bit of my finishing powder here. If I want to just set my lower lash line here so I don't get any kind of like fading, I want everything to stay in place throughout the day, it's good for that. Once again, it's really good for blending around your look. If you want to kind of set your brows a little bit, it's good for that. You can even use it to kind of set around the nose. If you've put some concealer on a blemish, you can use it for that. It's perfect for those little kinds of precision setting and blending types of jobs, but it's also good if you want to add some very precise depth, kind of like what we just did with that blending brush, but you want something a little bit more precise. So I'm going to go in with a deeper color in the Byredo palette, and if I want to just kind of define my crease a little bit, you can go in there and do so, but it's still very blended because this is generally still a pretty wispy brush. Also, if you have hooded lids or smaller eyes, this is going to be a good crease brush for you. I know I have a little bit more lid space than some people, so I also want to recommend this as a crease brush if you have a smaller eye type. And then the last BK Beauty favorite I want to share with you, friends, is another brush from the Angie Hot and Flashy set. It is the A505 Shimmer brush. This is a very precise, flat brush. Once again, synthetic. All the brushes are synthetic. And because of that, it makes it really good for kind of cream products or super creamy topper shades, any kind of shimmer that you want to lay across the eye and really get it nice and precise and really stick it on there. If you have something that's a little bit more glittery or creamy, that's what this is good for. I also like to use this to kind of touch up my brows a little bit. I'll go in with concealer after I've done my brow pencil, and I'll just gently kind of trace the outer perimeter of my brow to get that really nice crisp and snatched effect. But today I'm going to use it on the eye with some high shine shimmer. So once again, I have the Byredo Remembrance palette here, and I'm going to go into this very high shine silver that we have here. And I know this is a little bit more eyeshadow than I normally would apply, but we're demonstrating here. Check out how nicely it lays down the color. It's just very nice and precise. We're just laying down the color, and it's pointy as well. It has a little bit of a point to it. So if you wanted to get in here, if you wanted to use this to do, you know, like a cut crease or something, if you're getting fancy, you could use it for that. You could use it as a lip brush. This really has so many uses. It's a very precise, very versatile type of brush. But those are the two ways that I like to use it, is for the brows and laying down shimmer. All right, friends, this is the final look. The last thing that I'm gonna do is go back in with my Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush, the A506, and I like to just do a quick little touch up around the eyes or anywhere else where I need it. So I'm just gonna go in with my Tom Ford Stick Foundation, and then I like to kind of just clean up around the eyes, sort of snatch that line up just a little bit to kind of lift everything. And then sometimes I'll sort of go in, touch up, smooth everything out where I need it, and then I am good to go. That's all I got for you today, friends. I hope that you like this little favorites video and demonstration. Hopefully it helps you kind of narrow down your choices of what you want to pick up from BK Beauty. I'm going to be linking all these brushes, once again, all the products that I mentioned, in the description box down below, along with my coupon code that you can use to save a little bit money if you are shopping outside the sale. And now it is your turn, friends. Sound off in those comments down below and let me know what you think you're going to be picking up from BK Beauty. Let me know what brushes are your favorites. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.